Hey everybody, today we're grilling corned beef, and I found a really good deal on corned beef at the store the other day, and I'm going to show you how to do it on a grill. Corned beef is brined, and how that is done, it's done with salt brine, and so ours is going to be very, very salty, and we need to do some prep for that. The term corn comes from putting meat in a large crock and covering it with rock salt kernels, a salt, and they were referred to as corns of salt. This preserved meat by that process. The term corned beef has been around as early as 88 AD, and Irish were the biggest exporters of corned beef until about 1825. Corned beef and cabbage is not an Irish dish. It's a traditional Irish-American dish. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of that today. Corned beef, cabbage. I'm going to make some red potatoes au gratin. And add some grilled onions and grilled peppers to the cabbage. I'm using red cabbage today, so it should be pretty interesting. But first what we have to do is unbrine our corned beef. Otherwise it's going to be way too salty, and that's not a good thing. So stick around, let me show you how to do it. Seasoning packet we're going to use, and our corned beef has a large slab of fat on there. I'm not going to do anything with that right now. I just want to basically leach all the salt out of this, and to do that I'm just going to use water. Put it in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag. Water, probably a gallon of water. Seal this up, get some of the air out of it, and try not to spill it all over the place like I just did. And you can already see the discoloration of the water. That's some of the blood, some of the brine. We're going to do this for an hour. I'm going to do it probably 4 times, and that should get enough of the salt out of that so that we can throw it on the grill, and I'll show you that process next. I've been soaking and rinsing this off for a few hours now. 4 times I've filled up the bag with fresh water, dumped it out, and refilled it. I also took a little bit of time and I trimmed the fat cap off of it. The reason I did that is just as far as grilling the corned beef, that's not what I want on there. And the corned beef had a layer of fat in the middle. So what I did is I separated the 2 pieces. So still got a little bit of fat on there. Got a nice small piece. Basically this is going to be my grilled corned beef for my sandwiches, and this is going to be for hash. What I want to do is just pat these dry here. And I'm going to prepare a very simple rub. This water bath that I've been giving it has been leaching out all the salt that's been used to brine this corned beef with. Which, as you know, corned beef is quite salty. My rub that I'll be using will not have any salt at all. So how simple is it? What I've done is I took the packet and I basically just pounded it up so that it's not the large seeds of spices. And I'm going to use that. I have about a tablespoon of dried onion flakes, about a teaspoon of dried rosemary, teaspoon of thyme, whichever one you want to use it. So just break that up a little bit to release some of that aroma. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper. Also going to add about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And that's more than enough. It's very strong stuff. This is minced garlic that I picked up. It's pre-minced with red pepper. I really like it, but you can't use too much. It's very, very strong. And we'll give this a good mix. I'm going to use about 2/3 of this on the corned beef. Let's save a little bit for the base that I'm going to make. And again, that's going to be a very, very simple base. So, in order to get this to stick, I'm going to put a little bit of mustard on there. Not a lot. You know, we eat corned beef with mustard, so it'll be a nice complement. This is honey mustard, which I like to use, a little bit sweet. I'm just going to put enough on there so that this rub will stick to my corned beef. You really don't have to use this. You could probably use olive oil, but you know, corned beef, gosh, you know, we pretty much every sandwich you have, you slather on the mustard on there. So just a natural, and a lot of the barbecue aficionados do the old mustard rub. And something I've been trying lately, and what I find, it just makes the base adhere really well. Most of the flavor will burn off, if you will. It'll cook out, and it's not a real big deal. But it adds just a little bit to it. There's the Dutch oven dog Bailey. No, you cannot have any. Let's get some of this on there. And again, the corned beef, it already has a lot of flavor, a lot of taste to it, so I don't want to overpower it. Just want to get a good coating on here, and then I'm going to get it on the grill. What I have is all natural hardwood on my grill right now, and it's from Nature's Grilling. I really like it. It seems to be pretty consistent as far as the heat goes. And then I'm also backing it up with one of my favorites, is the Jack Daniel's Whiskey Barrel briquettes. And that has some chunks of wine coated or wine infused barrels in it, and that makes a nice little smoke flavor. I'm not going to do a lot of smoking with this either. I just think that's, you know, we're going to be adding too much to it. So just basics. You just have a basic amount of rub on there, a basic amount here. This is going to be for my sandwiches, nice beautiful cut. This will be for my corned beef that I'm going to make later on. They're about equal thickness, and that is a big plus for cooking time. I don't think these are going to take longer than an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops. So we're going to get these on the grill here, which I'm using 3-stage. And it's my high heat, medium heat, and no heat over here. And we'll get that going. We're going to put our corned beef on the high heat side for a couple minutes on each side, basically for a sear. And then I'm going to be moving it over. I'm going to be slow cooking it indirectly. And what I mean by slow cooking is indirect cooking for about an hour. That smells just incredible. Let's get that going. About 3 minutes each side, I'm thinking. We'll give it a flip, and we'll see what happens.